And I believe we're live. I believe we are live. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Yellow Pepper Club. We are having another of our workshops, which we are streaming live to share with our friends and family. So you guys, you can go on your pages, find the live stream, and then you can also share that as well. So welcome. My name is Eme Bassi, founder of the Yellow Pepper Club. Ooh, wow, sounds good. And today we have a special workshop with Tolu Ademidoro, who happens to be one of our members as well. And she is going to be sharing an Excel-ish. It's not really an Excel masterclass, but more like about how to organize your time and your life using an Excel calendar. So it's time management, productivity, everything, getting your head in the right space, and then of course a tool that you can use to do that. So what are we doing first? Okay, so I had a discussion I was talking with Tolu about something, and it involved me showing her my to-do list, which was a very long to-do list. And she was like, okay, this is how you can do it. And then she opened an Excel calendar for me, and she said, you can put this here, you can put this there. And it made so much sense to me. And she was like, making a calendar or putting things in a calendar or scheduling things actually makes more time for you. It's not going to use up all your time, but actually helps you to create more time for yourself, and I thought, okay, this would be a wonderful thing to share with the rest of the members, as well as with them, as I said, our friends and family. Another thing was that we've just finished a sprint, which was about how to create and sell your first digital product. And one of the things that we do after creating would be to launch the thing. And launching involves a lot of bits and pieces, putting them all together. So this would also be a good time for us to actually put all our launch activities into our calendar, the pre-launch and all the different bits and pieces. So this is actually a very timely workshop for all of us, for whatever it is that we're doing. And then thirdly, because we're getting to the end of the year, and many of us feel like we need to catch up on, life, and catch up on all our plans that were cancelled, and, get something done that we can actually have something to show for all our efforts at the end of the year. So this again would be also a good workshop for us to actually get our head in the game and, just lay out things so that we don't become overwhelmed. So that is the end of my talking. And I would like to introduce Tolu. Where have I lost? Yeah, okay. Tolu. So Tolu is, let me see, where's the intro? Tolu is many things. Tolu is a design and construction expert in the building industry. She has a background in architecture. Tolu, I'm going to spotlight you.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. So that's Tolu. Tolu, say hello.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, so she has run 3 successful design and renovation companies over a period of 20 years. Tolu uses her love for reinvention and transformation to serve women as a life and business coach, encouraging them to evolve into their best and freest lives. Tolu didn't mention this, but she's also working on a special journal. So just find her, follow her. She is at Start Evolving on Instagram, and I will put the link also in the chat at some point. But yeah, she has a journal coming out that's going to be really helpful to all of us again. So hello, Tolu.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Yeah.
Morning, Tolu.
Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So welcome to this workshop being hosted by the Yellow Pepper Club. And I'm going to just chip in here that the Yellow Pepper Club, since I joined, I think it was in May, has really um, been very influential, and I've made so much progress in a lot of the things that I've been wanting to do. The members are really very experienced in everything that they're doing in their own projects, and it's a really great community. Everybody shares, we all learn from each other and hold each other accountable. In fact, the other day, my sister, who's like my, we bounce ideas off each other, she's also my business partner. She was saying, now wow, that's she doesn't see me anymore these days, that these Yellow Pepper Club people are just taking up all my time. But okay, so it's a great place, and I would really encourage, if you're somebody who has a project you want to focus on and you need um, people to work alongside with, and to get into the digital space. It's a really good platform, and a really great forum. It's very helpful. I love it. Okay, so today we're talking about
That's all. Thank you.
you're welcome. Today we're talking about time management, and specifically on how to be able to use an Excel calendar to be able to organize your time and to organize, your activities and the things that you hold, that hold value for you. Um, First of all, um, I saw a quote by Stephen Covey, and Stephen Covey says that the key is not spending time, but investing time, and time can actually is kind of like akin to money, because you can spend money, you can invest money. And the same thing with time. You can spend time, you can create time, you can um, make time, but time is considered to be so valuable because it's something that you actually cannot get back once it has gone. Um, so I'll first of all want to be able to define for you what time is, its purpose, and our relationship with it. The Merriam-Webster dictionary defines time as the indefinite continued progress of existence and events in the past, present, and future regarded as a whole, as in it's indefinite, yet it continues. It's the progress of existence, of events in the past, in the present, and the future, and it's all seen as one. Jim Rohn says that life is not just the passing of time, but life is a collection of experiences, their frequency, and their intensity. Now, when I read this quote, it implies that life is not just the passing of time, but life in itself is also time. Because if life is a collection of experiences, and life is not just the passing of time, it's the two joined together. Now, the Bible also says in Ecclesiastes 3:1-2, that to everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under the sun, meaning that there's everything that we do, everything that we want to do or hope to do, eh, has has a time. There's a time that can be fixed for it. So saying that, oh, I'm too busy, or oh, I don't have time, is actually not true, because you know every purpose under heaven has a time. There's a time to be born, and a time to die. So there's a time to cook. There's a time to throw away trash. There's a time to so there's actually a time for everything. But a lot of the things now really depends on us and what we choose to allocate time to. The Bible also talks about, letting us know how important time is. It says in Psalms 90:12 that, so teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. That that's like how to use our days, how to allocate our time, allocate our days, use this time for this, use these days for this, use these days for that, so that we can apply our hearts unto wisdom. And then Ephesians 16 says, redeeming the time because the days are evil. And when I think of redeeming the time, it's like saying taking back our time, you know. But what are we taking our time back from, you know? And that's from a lot of the distractions and a lot of demands that come for our time. So we want to redeem that time. We want to take that time back. We want to create more time for ourselves. So now talking about what I now realized was that time in itself is not is really a mental construct. You know, time, the purpose of time in it, you know, it cannot exist on its own. It's not just a case of like, oh yeah, there's time. Time is not useful for anything except alongside our lives, alongside our activities. So for instance, we have the rising of the sun and the setting of the sun, but that in itself is not useful. It's everything that happens in between that time, in between the rising of the sun and the setting of the sun, that is of the most, you know, that's crucial, that's important, you know, and that is our lives, you know. So in to be a bit more specific, it's really not about time management, but really more about self-management. It's the management of our lives, it's the management of what of our activities between the setting of the rising of the sun and the setting of the sun. So our lives, we have time. We need to know how to manage ourselves. Now, there's some certain things that um, cost us time. I'm going to touch this just very quickly. Um, very quickly, just a second. Right, here we go. Okay. So there are things that we do that cost time. And some of those things, you know, when we say it costs time, we spend time, we waste time, we lose time. And some of those things that we do that cost time, that we do, so that and we end up losing time. One of them is worrying. Now, we know that worrying does not achieve anything whatsoever. There's nothing that worrying does. Worrying, if you're going to worry about tomorrow hasn't even come. So what's the point about worrying, you know, about worrying? The other thing that costs us time is buffering. Now, buffering is a way to escape emotion. Sometimes I find that maybe I'm even, it even happened a bit while I was preparing for this workshop, and I'm working on it, and then suddenly I'm like, I look at the pile of clothes that I have that I need to fold. I'm like, oh, I really do need to get these pile of clothes folded, you know. And it's like, okay, let me just go downstairs and get a drink of water. And then I get up from my computer and I go downstairs, get a drink of water. Then I walk around a bit, and then I open the fridge, and then I want to, oh, is there anything that I can nibble, and go back upstairs? And then I come back upstairs and I'm looking at the pile of clothes again. But what's happening is that there's something going on within me that's making me avoid the work that I need to do. And it's a thought. A thought had come up that I was probably not conscious about. And I wanted to avoid that feeling. So perhaps it was, you know, a thought that you're not going to finish preparing all these slides in time, or you're going to get up on this presentation and you're going to fumble, you know, or what do you know about time management? Anyway, you're not even organized yourself and you want to be teaching people time management. And I'm like, you know, so it's a thought that comes up in my head, and immediately it's not a thought that's, bang in your face. It's a thought that has happened silently in your head, and it's created a feeling. And to avoid that feeling, I start doing all these other things. Now, because I understand buffering, and I'm more aware of my feelings and my emotions, and when I'm buffering, every time I kept looking at the clothes, I knew that, Tolu, you cannot go and touch those pile of clothes, because it's you're avoiding something. So I would come back and I would sit down, and then I would begin to examine my thoughts. Why am I feeling like this? Oh, um you're not going to finish, you're going to mess up the presentation. Then I ask myself, what's the evidence that you're going to mess up this presentation? Have you not given a presentation before and it went well? I have that evidence. So I now bring myself back um to dealing with that emotion, and getting back to, and focusing on what I need to do. Another thing that costs us time is people pleasing. Now, I will admit that I am a recovering people pleaser. There was a period of time in my life that anybody that asked me anything, asked me to do anything for them, I would say yes. It was almost automatic. I would say, oh, sure, no problem. And then I would start doing it, and then I'm now getting annoyed. Why am I even doing this? Then I start feeling resentful and upset and angry, Um, and so many people, in fact, one day somebody actually described me as um, malleable. And I was like, malleable? Do you mean amiable? But it was like, I was such a nice person. I never wanted to make anybody angry. I never wanted to make anybody upset. I wanted to, to be liked. If I felt that if I said no, or I refused anybody's request, it was being mean. So there was one day I now started realizing that every time I said yes, I would feel so resentful. And I didn't like that feeling of, being resentful. It was just not a nice feeling to have. And I realized I think I listened to a message by um, Joyce Mayer, and she was talking about saying no. So I now started saying no. I just made a decision that from now on, anybody that asks me anything, I will say no first. And then I would think about it. And if it's something that I genuinely want to do, I would call the person back and say, oh, that thing you asked me, I can do it. Because I was so used to saying yes, I needed to have that gap to be able to say no, So, but my people pleasing had me um, doing so many things for other people, but never anything of value for my own self. So I actually started practicing. Practicing saying no. And I was in the bank one day, and somebody asked me, "Oh, could I use your pen?" And I said no. And the person was like, And I now said, "Okay, sure, use the pen." But I really had to get deep into and to know that saying no was okay. It's safe to say no. Nothing terrible is going to happen if you say no. You have the right, you have the choice to say no. So another thing that steals our time is indecision. When you want to do something and you really don't, you're undecided about it. Oh, I want to. I think I was talking to this about somebody the other day on pricing a product. I was like, well, I don't know. Should I make it $27? Should I make it $50? This product, and a week later, we're still on, okay, so how much is the product? Well, I don't know. Is it $27? Well, either I should make it $40. I'm still thinking about it. I'm still doing research. And it's like, time is going on because you've not been able to, it's going by because you've not been able to make this one decision. So you need to be able to take your decisions quickly, because indecision steals your time as well. And then confusion is another um, time stealer. Um, Spending time regretting things of the past. You're just wallowing, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. If I hadn't done this, it's happened, let go, move on to the next thing. And then the things that make time in relation to some of the things I've just discussed, you need to make decisions strongly and quickly. You need to take massive action. You need to plan. You need to honor your plan. So when you plan, you make a plan of things you want to do. You now need to honor that plan. You need to constrain, as in focus. You know, focus on that one thing that you're working on. Concentrate, block out other distractions. Um, and then, of course, like I said, you need to be able to learn how to say no. So moving on quickly, we have the almighty to-do list. I don't know if folks brought their to-do lists. Right. So um, I I had what I called a master to-do list. I had this notebook, and every single thing I wanted to do in this life, I'll write it down, write it down, write it down. Oh, I want to check my Facebook. I want no, not sorry, not check my Facebook. I want to organize my filing system in my laptop. I want to go shopping on Wednesday. I want to clear out my wardrobe. Everything, master to-do lists, pages and pages and pages and pages, and sometimes there's a great feeling that comes once you're able to strike one thing off your to-do list. Oh yeah, sometimes if I've created a checklist or a to-do list for the day, and maybe I've crossed out some things. If there's something that I've done that was not on the to-do list, I'll write it just so that I could cross it out, to be able to feel like I've achieved stuff, you know. But the thing about the to-do list is that you will find that there are a host of things, both important things and things that are not important on your to-do list. And we're going to find out and see, how that really works or does not work. So we're going to come back to the to-do list in a moment, and we're going to look at um, this. It's called the Eisenhower matrix, and I think Stephen Covey also developed it further, and it's called the time management matrix. Now, what happens here is that activities that we want to do could either be urgent or important. So there's some things that are urgent that would say, oh, we need to do it now, and then things that are important. But some things can be important and urgent. Some things can be important but not urgent. Then some things can be urgent but not important, and then some things may not be urgent and not important at all. So what you want to do is, if you have your to-do list, now our to-do list is not the end, is not what is not the tool that we will use at the end of the day, because your to-do list does not get you executing the things that you want to do, or the things that that you hold valuable. But you would take your to-do list and you will look at each one and arrange it in these four quarters. Now, for instance, let's talk about the things that are urgent and important. Those are the things that you'll find in quadrant 1, and you want to do now. Now, you would find those are usually things that might be a life event. You're pregnant and you're about to give birth. You can't say, oh yeah, I can't, that's urgent and it's important. You have to get to the hospital. Sometimes a crisis that needs to be handled at that very moment. You're ill, or somebody in your family is ill, and then I would also say the things that you should do now is work or assignments or tasks that you have scheduled for that particular day. You've scheduled them ahead of time, and it's now come up for today, for that day, for you to be able to do. Now, the things that are important, um, but not urgent, are the things that you should schedule. For instance, and those things could be, um, oh, okay. So another example of things that are in the do now, urgent and important, could be like a water pipe has burst in your bathroom and there's water all over the place. You need to get that sorted out right away. You have a deadline driven project which is due at that very, you know, that very day. You need to do that. Now, things that are not urgent but are important, maybe like grocery shopping, family time, me time, exercise, you know, or you've noticed the water pipe is actually making noise, and that could be a problem. So they're not things that maybe at that very moment you're not going to do, but you must schedule them. They're not urgent, but they're important. You want to exercise, because exercising is good for your health, it's good for your body, it's good for longevity, ward off illness and sickness. So you want to schedule those things. So quadrant two is actually the most important um, of the four areas. Now the other thing, quadrant three are the interruptions. You know the interruptions, you want to delegate them if you can. For instance, other people's requests. Now, recently, somebody um, sent me a message and was like, "Oh, they needed some somebody sent me a message that they needed some information, and um, she was sure I would probably have the information in my archives and in my, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that, because this was something I would have to start digging really deep. It was for her own project, something she wanted to do, and she wanted to give the information to somebody else that, oh, Tolu, please, could you, I'm sure you would have it, you've done it before, could you please, forward it to me? And I was like, in my mind was like, this is an interruption as well as a distraction, so I said that what I now did was I directed her to where she could go and do the work of finding that information. I just gave her the link to a website, and I said, go here, search for this, all of it will come up and you'll be able to do it. So I quickly, remove that off my page. In fact, I think that would even probably have fallen into um, a time wasting um, category. But because the person is really dear to me, I was like, so I just said, get this off my table. This is what you need to do, and I pushed the work back to her. Um, so things that can fall under the areas of delegating or interruptions, or that you need to be able to make quick decisions, if this is a thing of value for you to handle, at that time. So other people's requests or their own preventable crisis. Oh, please, I need this now, 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 now. Oh, can you do this for me now, 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 now? Oh, this is happening. Can you please help me check? And sometimes you'll find that in projects, you might have a client that calls up and says, oh, please, I need you to do this. We need it by 2 o'clock today. It's like, that one, if I can get somebody to delegate it, if I can shift this, out, to say, well, I can't do that right now. So this is where your skills of being able to say no. So, oh, I'm sorry, I will not be able to do that right now. But if you give me, I'll be able to give it to you in 48 hours, or in 2 days. You're able to shift it and not let it distract you from the focus, distract your focus. Other things, a ringing phone. You don't have to pick your calls all the time. It I would only pick up a call from maybe some specific people. Maybe I'll pick a call from my husband, and I'll pick a call from my sister. I think that's pretty much, about it.
And
But
me, and me.
and if I can't pick the call, but I can send a text back, I'll call you back later, you know, because you don't know whether this call is just a gisting call, or it's a hi, how are you doing, or and I also believe, and which is what I do, if I call somebody and the person doesn't pick up the call, I send a text message to say, hi, I'm calling about this, please call me back whenever is convenient for you, you know. So, or sometimes I might even send that text message before time, that, hi, I would like to talk to you about this and this. Please let me know when you're free, or call me when you're free, So you don't have to pick up calls all the time. Answering your emails, you don't have to do that. Every time an email drops in, you're checking your phone. Oh, who's the email from? You're checking your phone. Who's the email from? And then now, with this COVID, Zoom meetings and webinars, please, they are just way too many. Everybody is hosting some webinar about something or the other, about health, about um, business. They're just way too many, and sometimes that fear of missing out, oh, they'll have information that I need here, you're signing up and logging into so many Zoom meetings and Zoom webinars and things like that. You need to, like we talked about before, you need to be able to reduce the number of places you're going to. Now we don't go to physical places. The places we're going to now are online. Reduce them, constrain them. you know um I on Facebook, I follow maybe like 3 or 4 people that are that have to do with business and online businesses. They're the only ones I follow, or that I go deliberately to their pages to see what they have posted, because I get value from there. If I start going down the rabbit hole of Facebook and the internet, you're just going to be there forever. So then the last one are the time wasters. So some of the time, those are things that you want to remove from your to-do list completely. um Things I said I will do but I really don't want to do. Mindless social media scrolling, and perfectionism is also a time waster. Oh, I'm trying to get it absolutely perfect. I'm working on a on a graphic for an Instagram post, and I'm changing the fonts 10 times. Oh, what about this font? What about that font? What about that font? Put one font, and get over it, get it over and done with, and get it off the page, off your table. So perfectionism is definitely a time waster. So I would like us to now quickly do the workflowy exercise. um, there are 2 ways to do this. We'll use the workflowy exercise. Yeah, let's do the workflowy exercise first. So I will share my workflowy. Stop share of this, and I will share. Where's the next one? Share again. This. Share. Oh dear. Okay. Just a second.
Has everybody here tried workflowy before?
I've just started it, Amir, since Tolu, when you mentioned it on Tuesday. So I think it's great way to organize your to-do list.
I think it works if your brain works that way. If and I think if it's good, if it's for you, it would really be good. If it's not for you, then
Okay, so this is my to-do list. Now I've arranged 4 areas for the 4 sections: urgent and important, not urgent but important, urgent and not important, not urgent and not important. So on my to-do list, I want to spend time searching for a job. So I'm going to move that. That's important, but it's not urgent. So I'm going to put that in not urgent, but important. Update my CV. It's important, but it's not urgent. I'm going to put that here. Update CV for Tai. That's a young person that I mentor, and I'm like, no, I don't have to update his CV. He should be able to update his CV himself. And so here's where I was like, oh, he won't be able to do it, well enough. Let me do it for him. But that's not a good way. So I would put that in urgent, but not important for me, but urgent for him. So I need to be on his, update your CV and give him a timeline to get back to me with it.
So that would be urgent, but not important.
But not important. But then if it's not even urgent for him, it should really be not urgent and not important for me. If it's not urgent for him, if it's not important for him to do, then it shouldn't be important for me either. He's not the one that's not interested in it. But I would put it in urgent and not important for now. Then my LinkedIn, revised my LinkedIn profile. That's not even, I don't even think that's important, and it's not urgent right now in the scope of the things that I'm working on at the moment.
But for someone else, it could be important.
It could be important.
For someone else, it might even be urgent.
It might even be urgent, exactly. But for me, it's not urgent, and right now it's not important. So I'm going to just remove that until perhaps a time when it might come up again. Do LinkedIn post articles on LinkedIn. Not urgent, not important. It's not in the scope of what I want to do right now. Oh, did it move? Did it move? Did it move? Did it go?
I think you have to make it click your tab, press tab so that it goes inside. Yeah.
Okay, order artwork from WA. This is somebody that I follow on Instagram, and I love his artwork, and I wanted one. I'm like, yeah, it's not urgent. It's not. I mean, I would have done it by now if it was really urgent and if it was really important. So, what did I do? Go back. So, registered a domain name. That is important, not urgent. Okay. Create websites. Not urgent, but it's important. G's drawings. It's not even going to get done. Plan picnic. Yeah, I think we're hitting, it's not urgent and it's not important. Create content. That's important, not urgent, but I need to schedule that. Create content schedule. I'm going to schedule that. Call bank card services. Let me put that in urgent and important. So I need to get that. Frame pictures, not urgent, not important.
Facebook. So we tend to just look at everything with the same eyes, like everything is, and I think that makes us overwhelmed as well. That can make us overwhelmed as well when everything seems to have the same level of
of
Your
importance
importance,
or
yeah.
priority and things like that. Yes. And which is why the to-do list is so open-ended. It's, you have a to-do list and you think, oh, I'm really organized, I have a to-do list, I'm going to get all these things done. But then, like you said, because everything seems to be at the same level of importance, you just say, okay, let me do this one today, let me do that one today, maybe tomorrow. You just scroll through. There's no direction. It's quite directionless, the way you handle the to-do list. So if so you can now do these same things with your own to-do list. Put them in these four categories. Now, another way I do this, besides from workflowy, if you're more of the handsy kind of person, I actually have 4 cardboards in those colors: the gold, the green, the purple, and the red, on my wall. And then my to-do list, or my list for the day or for the week, I write them on the post-it notes. If somebody comes up and says, oh, Tolu, please help me do this, I'll write it on a post-it note. I will take it, I'll look on the board, and I will stick it on one of the quadrants. Okay, this is not important. This is not urgent. This is 0. I'm not even touching this. Delete, and things like, because sometimes as you're going through, people ask you to, oh, please, could you do this? Could you do that? And everything. And I put it somewhere, I'm like, okay, I would say, oh yeah, sure, I would do it. Oh, no problem. I'll call you back in a week, but in that 1 week, I haven't done it, but it's occupying space in my head. I need to do this. I need to do this. Oh, this person will be wondering why I haven't gotten back to them. I need to do this. But it's because I've not put it in a place of priority, in a place of the value that, within me, I've actually attached to it, So when I'm not getting back to somebody on something, it could also really be because it's not really very important. It's important for that person, but it's not important for me. They're taking up my time. That's a time wasting thing. So the post-it note is also really good for handling it immediately. Just like Amy said, that workflow may not really work for you if your mind isn't doesn't function like that. So the other way might be better. So immediately you can say, okay, I'm doing this. Oh, I need to schedule this and stuff. So once we're done with that, we now get back to I think we can now go on to our calendar. So let me go back to the slides.
Any questions or comments before we carry on?
Anybody? Okay.
No, I think it's really helpful to have 2 ways of doing it. I like the idea of the sticky notes as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we now want to, so once you've organized your to-do list in these 4 areas, we want to, of course, the things that are really important are the things in quadrant 2, which are the things you want to schedule, So, and there's also a system called time blocking. Now, time blocking is a time management method that asks you to divide your day into blocks of time. And each block is dedicated to accomplishing a specific task or group of tasks, and only those specific tasks. Like, for instance, you will say, I'll write every day from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. So if you're a writer and, because you're a writer, is like, oh, yeah, let me just be writing, throughout the day, but you can fix it. I will write every day, Monday to Friday, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And you're able to focus. That's that time. And you can shut off everything else, at that time. you can shut off everything else for that time, and you're not, this is what I'm doing. I'm writing 9 a.m. And I believe that once you start getting into that kind of system of time blocking, already you're like, if anybody is saying, oh, can we meet by 9 o'clock, you're like, oh no, I'm not available by that time. Once you get into the routine, and understand your flow. Now, so like it says, with days that are time blocked in advance, you won't have to constantly make choices about what to focus on. Now, there was a quote from Jim Rohn. Where is that quote? There was a quote from him, and he says,
just before this, just before the quadrant, I saw it.
Okay, all right. Don't start the day until it is finished. And what he means is that don't start the day until you have, you have seen how that day is going to go. You have blocked out the time for that day. You have scheduled that day. You have planned that day out. That don't start it until you finished it. You've already seen it, how it's going to go, how you've planned it. Then he goes on further to say, don't start.
Can I interrupt you here?
Yes, please.
You know what I do when I want to cook or I want to bake? I sit down, I mentally cook the whole soup. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to pick the meat from here. I'm going to do this, then I'll do this. I won't start cooking until I mentally cook it, and then you just stand up and do it. Same with baking as well. I'll just sit down mentally, say flour, sugar, this, I'm going to this bowl, this spoon, blah blah blah, and I just go through the process in my head, and then I stand up and do it. So I think this,
exactly.
the same thing.
It's the same concepts, absolutely. So, and then he goes on further to say, don't start the week until it is finished. Don't start the month until it is finished. Don't start the year, until it is finished. So, there are other variations of time blocking. There's what they call task batching, which is you group together similar tasks and doing them all at once in order to avoid context switching. So for instance, I will answer all my email at 3 p.m. So rather than answering email at checking your email at 8 a.m. and then answering 3 of them, and then later going at 11 answering another 2, or a notification comes in that another email has come in, what you do is you pick a time and you answer all your email at that time. I also do other suggestions for time batching, task batching is I think I like to do things that are more screen time, internet, social media, all of that at the same time. So I may answer my emails. I will network. I'll do my networking on social media. That's the networking in Facebook groups that I'm a part of. Maybe answering. I decide, okay, I'm going to spend 30 minutes going into these 4 groups, that I'm in or that I'm active in, or I want to build my visibility within, to grow my audience, or to participate, to become more visible. I would go into those 4 groups on Facebook. I would answer comments on my social media profiles. I would do any internet research that I want to do at the time. So all of that is all internet, web-based kind of stuff that I would do. But not necessarily, okay, yeah, now I'm just having fun on social media and scrolling through posts. I'm very deliberate and intentional about what I'm doing at that particular point in time. So you're batching your tasks, the tasks that are similar. There's also the one that's called day theming. It's for dedicating each day of the week to a specific area of focus or responsibility. So every Monday, I'll focus on content creation. Every Tuesday, I'll focus on content promotion. Every Wednesday, I'll focus on research and ideation. Now, what I do is I have a day on Fridays. I call it whether my financial day, So because I want to keep a grasp of my financial. So on that day, I will make payments, any payments that I need to make. I will update my subscriptions every Friday. I go, because I mean, these days now we're subscribing and paying for so many things. Oh, I'm paying for workflow, I'm paying for Canva, I'm paying for Google, iCloud space, cloud space, So I have a list of those subscriptions, and I have the time, that's around the time that they're due. But I check every week, because sometimes I decide that, okay, this one is coming up. Do I still want to renew? Like, for instance, Canva. If I think that, okay, in the next 1 month, I'm not going to be doing so much graphics or content creation, or maybe I've employed somebody to do my graphics for me. Okay, that's $12.95 that I can take off, that I don't need to spend right now. So I would go in and I would cancel the subscription. So I do anything that has to do, I revisit my financial goals, check investments, check account balances, maybe if I have a project that I'm running at the time, I'll do the invoices, or prepare the invoice. I'll maybe do any VAT tax payments, and then check project accounts and things like that. So I have that for Friday, and I would probably do it between 12 noon to 3 p.m. But that's what that's what my Friday is mostly about. Then the fourth one is time boxing. So setting a limit on how much time you'll dedicate to a specific task. Now, this is kind of similar to time blocking. But here you will say, I will write 1,000 words between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. tomorrow. So what you've done is that you've kind of like quantified what your task is. Okay, if you say, I'm going to write three emails. What are those emails called again? Amen. The emails that you'll send to your audience. Maybe sales emails. So I will write 3 emails tomorrow, between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. So you're focused on that. I have to prepare three emails. So we have that for the time blocking. Now, there's an argument for spontaneity, that everything is just so regimented. You've put everything here, and there. Now, what about, if something happens and say, oh, it's so sunny, nice and sunny out today, let me go out for a walk and things like that. That doesn't spontaneity have a place? Now, I checked up the definition of spontaneity, and it says, coming or resulting from a natural impulse or tendency, without effort or premeditation, natural and unconstrained, unplanned, a spontaneous burst of applause, or someone given upon acting sudden impulses. Now, in the light of managing your time, and blocking time and scheduling your activities, spontaneity is not wrong in itself. I believe in being flexible, but if you decide that that's how you're going to live your life, I'm going to live my life spontaneous, all this, you will just be like a piece of paper being blown in the wind, and anywhere that wind blows you and where you land, that is it. And I say a piece of paper because your life is a script. You have a purpose to live out. So today you're you're being blown to, I don't know, you're being blown in this direction because, oh, you're being spontaneous, and you're being blown into a group of people that you have nowhere, being with, that are taking up your time and things like that. But I believe very strongly in the prompts that come from inside, you know those nudgings. And so you can't say, oh, you're working and you just have this prompt or this nudge to, I need to call this person, maybe the person just keeps, you can't now say, well, I'm working from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. I will call at 10:30, but you have this thing in your heart, call this person, please, absolutely, you know act on that impulse. And I'll give an example. A cousin of mine, typically when she gets back from church, from service, she'll come home and she would cook lunch. Her husband doesn't go to the church she goes to, so she would cook lunch, and she would serve it or keep it wherever it's meant to be. And then she would now leave. She would now go out to probably go back. She would usually have meetings in the afternoon in church, so she would leave home and go to church for the church meetings. Now, whenever she does that, she doesn't go up to tell her husband, who will be at home, that, oh, food is ready, I've cooked, I'm off to church. He already knows she would have cooked and then she's off to church. There's no reporting of, I'm going now, I'm coming now, and everything. But this day she came, she cooked, and she was about to rush out, but it was like, go upstairs and tell him that the food is ready. This was not something she would typically do. I mean, it wasn't her habit at all, and he wouldn't have expected it of her, But that prompt was there, and it was really, so she just went upstairs, decided, okay, she went upstairs to tell him that food is on the table, whenever you're ready. And he was there having a seizure, and she was, I mean, it was all panic and everything. And thankfully there were neighbors around and stuff, and they were able to get him to the hospital and all of that, and he's fine. But this is where I come in to say about being flexible. So even in your time blocking and your scheduling, create space for interruptions, create, free time, give allowances for interruptions here and there that would definitely take place. Not even might take place. They're bound to happen. Okay, so I think that is pretty much it. I don't know if there are any questions before we now actually go into the Excel sheet.
Thank you. Gosh.
Yeah.
There were so many nuggets there. I was just, writing some in the comments on Facebook, so many nuggets, all those little things that waste our time, those little things that, steal the time stealers, like indecision and perfectionism and FOMO, and those kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those little, I really got a lot of that. And even with looking at the time, the different ways that you the slide just before this, the different ways to manage your time. You can actually see, oh, I do this sometimes. Oh, I should do more of it. I do it without even knowing that, okay, this is what I do. But every morning I check my emails, or every evening whatever. So yeah, this is really helpful. Anyone else? Falakemi said that you made it very easy to understand. Tutu talked about FOMO, and then she says, how do we minimize the number of Zoom calls and meetings in these COVID times, since we're working more than when we went to an office? So
are these Zoom meetings coming from your office, or Zoom meetings coming from all around.
I think we need to create urgent, not important for Zoom meetings.
For Zoom meetings, absolutely.
This is work related. So it just seems as if everybody wants to have a Zoom call, even when it's just two people. And I'm like, just ring me. Like, do we really need a Zoom call between two of us? But it seems like things that you previously will have done via email, maybe people will email you and you will just respond with a one-liner or something. For some reasons, I was speaking to a colleague about this yesterday. The number of meetings that we have on a daily basis now is just getting ridiculous, to be honest with you. And I'm thinking, what can be done? Is it because people are at home, they've got no one to speak to, they just want a Zoom call every time? What's going on? It's just so much of it. And then you don't have enough time to then catch up on your work. So sometimes I'm finding myself working, trying to then do the actual work. And then I'm working 7 o'clock at night or something, which on a normal day, 5:30,
you're
you would have finished and you're out of there and you go on and do other things in life. So what do we do? How do we?
Are you able to determine the time for those meetings?
Sometimes
are you in that position?
Not always.
Not always.
Not always. Okay. Sometimes I say, can we maybe later I suggest a new time, I propose a new time, but then I'm talking about, like yesterday, I was on five Zoom calls. So
with the same people or with different people?
With different people. And by the time I've, had that FaceTime with 5 Zoom, I just had enough, to be honest. But it's just so much time. And then now I've got to catch up today on what I should have done yesterday. Do you have to
participate in the meetings? Do you have to show your face?
Well, yeah, because, yeah. So I don't know what we do with that. Maybe it's just something that's just a social construct at the moment, and hopefully it will pass.
I think people need to have the purpose. Say, okay, what's the purpose of this call? Is it a planning call? Is it a working call? Is it a, oh, let me tell you what I want you to do call? Then it shouldn't go on for 1.5 hours. It's just, it should be like a stand-up meeting.
I think your organization also needs to look into that, because
I am the organization.
You need to say, that productivity time is actually down, because meetings already, when they were face to face in person, were already like, oh my God, so now that it's like, and I think people just want to, because I'm working from home, let's let it appear that I'm working, I'm getting stuff done, I'm busy, so, but busy doesn't mean you're creating value, you're being productive, at all, so if you're in a position to help the organization look into that and plan it, come up with a plan on how meetings need to be held, and then bring back the importance of emails, and text messages, and then when people can answer. So you might be able to help to create a structure, that people will follow because of the.
Okay, Tutu, there's a book that just came to mind. It's called Rework. If you've not read it before, read it. If you read it, go and read it again or listen to it.
What's the author?
Rework, R-E, and then work.
Who's the author?
I can't remember the author. Is the creators of Basecamp. Basecamp, like Basecamp, like Slack and all those, one of those software channels for communication. So they talk about, they talk extensively about meetings and, how they do they are quite a successful company, and they do things really differently, especially when it comes to time and having meetings and saying no and all these different things that we just talked about. So I think it would be it's a good resource for you it's a very short book. You can go and read it today and finish reading it today. And then also I think for you, Tutu, I think you should look at this time blocking and see what you can pick out of here and apply to your Zoom calls. Maybe like theme some days to say this is the day of this, and then or sometimes to say no calls before 11 a.m. or no calls before 1 p.m. or no meetings before 1 p.m. Let everybody have that time to do work, or if there's a meeting early in the morning, it should not go longer than 15 minutes or 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
I try and vary the timings. I take your point though, you're right. I need to think about it. That sometimes I'm also working across time zones. So sometimes some people are already working and I'm still in bed. So by the time I finally make it out, I've got 2 meetings. So sometimes I find that I'm having my first meeting before I've had breakfast, and then I then go and have breakfast and then start my day. And then I'm trying to give them all the information before they close for the day, because I then go. So sometimes it's time zone problem as well. But I think I think I've got an idea.
And I think if everybody who requests, or the people who are important in requesting meetings or having the meetings, get them to suggest a time, and then everybody work around it. Not work around it, but then you now fine tune it to fit everybody. So if somebody in Hong Kong needs to have a meeting by, they're halfway through their work day, I'm going to do a 9 a.m. meeting, and you're getting up, like, well, to be able to streamline all the time zones, meetings should be this time, and this time. Okay, Mr. KJ, plug. These are the time slots available. In fact, maybe if you could do that these are the time slots available for meetings, and people should either pick or select, for their meetings, and then I think that's it. So except a meeting is like there's a crisis, they should, if they're the regular meetings, or our our update meeting, our Monday morning meeting or something like that, it shouldn't just be haphazard or spontaneous meetings. I want to see what everybody is up to, and then also the managers should have their team either sending in reports, which they would go through, I think, instead of actually having to have one-on-one meetings. So I think managers would want to say, are they doing the work? Are they doing the work and stuff? Let them, reports must be on my table by, or in my email by so time, So everybody is able to do their work, and then update the manager, whether in the course of the week on a Wednesday or something like that. And then you have your one meeting in a week, so except it's a crisis, and then everything else, any other communication should continue by email, Otherwise there'll be real a lot of downtime and complaining and tempers going off very soon. So okay, so I think let's go straight to our Excel sheets now. So we will look at.
Okay, thank you. So do you think this part is also relevant for our people that are watching live, or should we?
Well, except for maybe the regular calendar. There's the regular calendar and the launch calendar.
Let's carry on anyway. Let's carry on. Yeah.
We can just do the regular calendar and then very quickly.
We can do both. We can do both.
Okay. All right. So I'll do the regular calendar first, because that would give the foundation for what we'll be doing in the launch calendar. Okay. So this is an Excel template, and I downloaded it from the internet. I will share in the it's by what are they called now? vertex42.com. So they have different types of templates. Some are free, some are paid for. This was a free one. They already have the 2021 calendars out. So if you want to jump ahead and schedule, you can just download, go there. So this one, so if this is a calendar title and it's like, let me just say Tolu's.
What's the name of the
link?
Vertex.
Vertex, vertex42.com.
Okay.
So they have a lot of Excel templates for budgeting, all sorts, all kinds. They're all available there. Put in your title.
Okay. We still can't see your screen.
Oh, you can't?
It just says you started sharing, but it's not.
Oh, it's paused. What happened?
Yes,
Okay, just a sec. Sorry, let me do it again. Let me. Did I stop share? Sorry, just a second. Is it showing now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so here you put the title. So I can say this is Tad's calendar, Tad's master calendar. Okay, so Excel is really simple once you understand the basics of it. So typically you have what are called cells, right? So each of this is a cell, and you can write inside it. So for instance, on Fridays that I do my financials, I can make it bold, and then I can fill it with a color that I want to assign to it. So you just go to the paint bucket that pours in the color, and I have my financials. And I can copy this before I copy it, now I want to make some comments because, the time I want to work on this and then the things that I want to do, you can add them. You won't be able to, except you're going to start stretching it really long or filling up the whole day. But I want to be able to put in other things as well. So we have if you right click, you will see insert comment. So I can insert a comment. So on my financials, the things I want to attend to are that payment, which I would do on the first Friday of each month. That payment, transfer to mom. No, that's not there. Oh, well, anyway, whatever transfers, review, subscriptions, review financial goals, and let me just say check account balances. And I can decide to say, because Excel doesn't have, at least not that I know of, being able to slot a time, but I can say I'm doing this between 9 a.m. 12 noon, 12 to 3 p.m. Right? So, okay, this is in red, so you're not going to be able to see that because the comments tag is red, but it's there. If you just hover over that corner, it'll come up and you'll see what you're supposed to attend to. So let's say also on Fridays, I have my me time. Okay, so, or me time I'm going to type me time. I'm going to make it purple because I'm royalty.
Ryan, tell her what she should put inside her me time comment.
Yes. Right click to insert a comment. So my me time, let's say I'm going to, it's been a long week, I'm going to do a foot soak, or what's it called? Foot bath or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could do a foot bath with candles, or no, that would probably be a whole bath, you know,
The whole bath.
candles, or bath. I'm going to maybe read, or read in the park, hopefully the weather being good. And what else?
You could do your facial, then you do your
do a facial, maybe go get my nails done. Okay, and I'm going to do all of this between, let's say, towards the evening. I finished my financials at 3. Maybe I just slot in an hour for free time, and then let's say, so that'll be 4 to 6 p.m. If that will be enough, for 4 to 7. Let's say 4 to 6. Okay, now the hottie date night. The boo. So put in date night. Assign a color that you want for it. And right click, insert a comment. We're going to restaurant this week. We're eating out. Let's say that's what the plan is. Okay. And let's say we're doing that. There's nothing. This greased me. Okay, I'm just going to do this again. Oh, edit comments. I'm sorry. That's what I'm supposed to do. You're supposed to edit comments if you want to edit it. Yeah. So let's say that is from 7 to 10 p.m. So that's what you can do. If you need more lines, you can always add more cells. So you just pick the line you want to add a row, right click, insert to add a row. If you pick it from above, it will add a column. If you right click, insert, it will add a column. Sometimes if you're adding, you can add, I highlighted 2 rows at a time. I insert, it will add 2 rows, but it's added, it kind of picks up the format of what is in front, what's ahead of it. So you can no fill, change that. And then this is now 2 cells because it picked, this is two gone back to 2 cells. So you just highlight the 2 cells. You will see up in the home dialog box, merge and center, but they're more, so just say merge cells, and it makes it 1 cell again, takes it back to being 1 cell, merge cells. Okay, so that's typically what you can do, and then fill out your stuff. So if you also want to do like the time blocking, you decide what you want. Now, the important thing to also do before doing this exercise is to make a list of the things that you consider important. that you consider valuable. If it's spending time with the children, if it is spending time with family, sometimes you can even schedule calls, where, okay, I'm going to call up my elderly parents every Wednesday and Friday at so time. You can schedule those calls as well, you know. If exercise is important to you, your morning routine, you can schedule them, plug them in there. I go to the gym between so time and so time, you know, Mondays, maybe Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. All the things that are important to you. Now, those are the things. Now, the things that are important to you, that are of value to you, you know, if it's working on your business, be specific about the areas of your business that you're working on, not the time stealers, the things that you're doing that are actually supporting your goals and taking you to where you want your business to go to. If you have a goal to launch a product by the end of the third quarter, what are the steps you need to take to be able to launch that product? You need to be more visible. What are the steps you need to take to be more visible? Okay, I need to be on social, I need to post on social media more. How many times do you want to post on social media? What are you posting? When are you creating that content? So all those things, the time batching, the day theming, the time boxing, all those things will help you to get a clear picture of what your activities and what your week or what your day will be like. Now, besides this Excel, I would also like encourage people to try and use Google Calendar. Now, why Google Calendar is great is because you would get the notifications of the things that you've scheduled. I haven't been using Google Calendar, but I've been encouraged to.
Again, can you say that again? I didn't really understand what you.
Which one? Google Calendar.
The reason why you think we should use, and what.
Google Calendar will send you the notification of your next activity, right? Excel's not going to do that. You will just, you can print this, put it up on your wall, and have a feel of it. You can keep it, you can open it up every morning and go through what your day is like on that day. But Google Calendar will send you the notification. And I started, as I tried using, I was getting the notifications, and I now decided actually this morning that I'm going to shut off all other notifications, right? All the emails and all of that, I'm going to shut all of them off and just have the notifications of the tasks that I have specifically and intentionally put into my calendar, and only receive the notifications of those to know, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing next, because that's what I want to know. That's what I want to execute. I want to participate in what I want to, find myself engaged in. So I'm just going to quickly show you. I have a Google Calendar open. So let me stop share here. Share again. Where are you? Google Calendar. Sorry, just a second. Just a second. Here we go. Okay, so. Okay. Can you see it? Okay, no. Okay, can you see it now? Right. So I started trying to fit in things into my my Google Calendar, so I want to create content for my journal on so day. I want to, and then I've put a time to it. So let me, I've put a time. Did I put a time to it? No, I didn't. Okay, but let's say you just click on on Wednesday, I want to post emails, send out sales emails. No, or let me just say write. Let me write 3 emails for CWJ. Okay, it is a task. You can, if it's an event, if it's a reminder, or if it, you can pick which one it is. So it's a task. It's not all day, so I will unclick that and I will make it, I'll give it a time. Let's say 10:30 a.m. to, where's the other half? Okay, well, I'm sorry, I'm not quite familiar with it yet, but if I want to work on it from 10:30 to a certain time, I'll figure that out. And then I can add a description of whatever it is I want to do there. And I should also be able to, let me save that. Did it go? Okay, so that's it. That's it there. I was trying to figure out also why some of them have just the bullet and some of them have the color label. I've not figured that out. But I started getting notifications and I was like, and the notification was actually, I felt good about it that, oh yeah, now it's time for me to work on my emails because it's what I want to engage in. It's important. It's like, it's this activity is supporting my goals. It's supporting my goals to, have quality time with my family. The notification is supporting my goals to make sure my finances are in order. I have, my goals, my financial goals are up at the top of my head and I can see whether I'm meeting them or not, So Google Calendar is good. Now, the other thing that's good about Google Calendar, I understand, is that if you're a coach who has, who your clients book calls with you, Google Calendar works quite seamlessly with an app or a software called Acuity Scheduling, which is for booking coaching, for booking calls or scheduling appointments and things like that. So they can see what they will see in Acuity is your free time. The free time you have made available to be able to attend to either people who are, who want to have, if you have a free 30-minute one-on-one, if that's part of your, your offers to your audience, that, oh, well, I offer 30 minutes, a free 30-minute one-on-one call, one-off one-on-one call. Go to my my booking my appointment page or something, which might be on your website or your landing page or something, and then they can slot, and then it immediately aligns with your Google Calendar and you will get the notification for that as well.
You might have already blocked the time to say, I do my one-on-one calls every Tuesday between 10 and 4 or whatever.
Yes, but then you would also know if you're free or if you have somebody who has signed up for that time, so that's, I've not done it. I've not, I don't know all the intricacies, behind it, but it's really, it works. A couple of people I've talked to that use it say it's really good, and it has made life so, so easy for them in being, for their personal life and their business life, and merging them together seamlessly without having that overwhelm and stress. Okay, so that's Google Calendar as a tip that I would suggest folks also get to know. So we now have, so the last, and I think Calendly could also probably also does that as well. But Acuity scheduling is what the people I talk to actually use, and they swear by it. So the last thing said here is productivity is never an accident. It is always the result of a commitment to excellence, intelligent planning, and focused efforts, which are all the three things that I believe the Yellow Pepper Cup people are all about. So the last thing we want to look at is our launch calendar. Launch calendar. Right. So this is the, so let me stop share on that one and share this. Right, so this is what we need for our summer of selling and launching our digital doorway products. So, Amy, please chip in at any time here. So in this schedule, this is from September. I've created this schedule from September to the end of the year. So that comes to about 18 weeks. So whether you're launching, whether you're using 8 weeks or 12 weeks, or more or less, we have enough space to plug in what we need to do. So here.
Launch usually would start with, before you actually say, here is my thing, buy it. Your launch you would have to kind of like back up by some days or weeks or even months to start preparing your audience and start, talking about it, teasing about it, and all that.
Teasing your audience, right?
So those are the things that you want to put into your calendar to say, okay, 4 weeks before my launch, I'm going to. So you can actually maybe set your launch dates in advance. So let's say I set my launch date for October.
Okay. You just give me your dates. I'll plug it in here so that we have.
Or do you want launch dates for my product is I think it's 17th. Yeah, so 12th of October.
12th of October.
Yes, so that is the beginning of my launch. So that week of the 12th is my so that would be the week where I run I do lives every day, Monday to Friday.
So this is week 7 when your launch starts, right? So I'm going to write here launch starts. That's the task.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what you're doing is,
so
you're sending
Tuesday. So in when I go, I just say go live, and then put a note to say what the live topic would be.
Okay, so you start your Facebook Live on the 12th?
Yes, Monday.
Okay.
Oh, yes, okay.
All right, so let's say I can just copy this, Control C. We have some of the things up here. You can always edit this to suit your own
yes,
your own purposes or your own language.
Say, I'll go live Monday, Tuesday. I might go live. Actually, I'll go live Monday to Wednesday. I'll do a webinar on Thursday, or I'll take a break on Thursday, and then I'll do a webinar on Friday, something like that.
So
you
Facebook
can
Live 1.
Yeah. So 3.
Then you're doing this Monday,
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Copy paste, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then on
Thursday I'll do a webinar.
Okay, so Thursday, pick this. You'll do a webinar. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, what else is happening?
Okay, and then on Friday, the doors will open.
Okay, doors open on Friday. Doors open. Control-C, copy that.
Or even Thursday when I do the webinar, doors open.
The doors open. So I'll just put that under Control-V, doors open. Okay.
Okay. So my doors will probably open till the following Monday, and then the doors will close on.
Doors close when?
Rather, what am I saying? No. So the doors are open, yeah, and then on that, and the early bird price will open on that same Thursday as well.
Early bird pricing.
Yeah, on that Thursday as well. Early bird price will end on the following Monday.
The following Monday. So let's just copy. We'll just keep putting that through so that you know it's that it's continuing. The early bird pricing, then the early bird pricing closes, right?
Yes. And then the price increase will be after that. So the doors are still open, but the price goes up from that month after Monday.
So it after Monday, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So early bird pricing closes.
Yep.
Yes. And then it goes to
Regular
price increase or regular pricing.
Yeah. So either if it was a discount, to regular pricing. In my case, it's going to be a discount. So you'll go to regular pricing from Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the doors will actually close on Friday. So regular pricing.
And then the doors close. Okay.
So this is my launch period. So the thing about it, okay, and I want to do another webinar on the following Thursday. So that's Thursday the 22nd.
I'm going to call this webinar 1. So webinar 2 is on the following Thursday.
Yeah, so that's during the during the launch itself. So the day before the close, there'll be one last webinar.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Okay, so that's looking good. So somewhere in there will be emails. We don't need to go into that now, but somewhere in there would be emails, and somewhere there will probably be a Q&A, maybe go live, do a Q&A the following week, that kind of thing. So this is the typical launch week or launch couple of weeks. You can make your launch as short as you want or as long as
you want.
But I think the beauty or the usefulness of this calendar is not so much what you do on the launch week, but what you do before, because it's how you can warm up your audience before you actually open your doors or start trying to sell. The mistake a lot of us make is that we just go into a cave and we start creating and we forget that we need to tell people that it's coming.
So I think maybe things like so let's hypothetically say this week you're warming up your audience. How are you warming them up? Maybe by posting. I mean, there has to be something attached to that, like posting on Instagram. Maybe post every day on Instagram. So
posting every day on Instagram, talking about it. Maybe maybe like a week before, I'll be talking more about the testimonial. So if I'm launching or opening up the Yellow Pepper Club which is probably what will be happening. If I'm opening up the Yellow Pepper Club, for this period and then closing the doors. Because that's the plan. The plan is that the club the price is going to go up again is going to go up again. So I'll be sharing testimonials of people that have used it, and getting people to getting some social proof. So, this person was able to achieve that. That other person was able to achieve.
So where are you sharing the testimonials on Facebook, on Instagram?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So by posts as well as by Facebook Lives. So I might go live once a week in the twice a week in the 2 weeks before the thing. 2 weeks before I, before we, what's the name? Before we actually enter the launch week. Now, this is kind of like a teaching moment. So this will be the time when you use your why me, why you, why now, why this, why no one else content, to either use it to go live or use it to post on this, or just generally you're trying to talk about yourself, you're trying to talk about who this your thing is for. If you are using the enhanced coming soon page that we worked on inside the club, then you would say, sign up for my sign up for my list, or use this page, sign up on this page, the coming soon page, so that you will be the first to know, or so that you get this discount, or so that you get this bonus when we open, all those kind of things. So all this, the call to action for all of that, and I'll make a note inside the thing to say Facebook Live, make a note there to say call to action is sign up to the coming soon page. Call to action is sign up to the so CTA, sign up for coming soon page, kind of thing. So we have that the week, maybe a couple of weeks before I'm doing that.
Sign up for, sorry, you said sign up for
the coming soon page, sign up to the coming soon page, or the early bird bonus, or whatever it is you want to call it. So because the coming soon page is, it kind of gives you a chance to start emailing people as well. So you will also schedule the emails inside your calendar as well, to say, on day one, once they sign up, this is the first email that's going to go. Then this is the days probably the days of when you're doing the live streams, you're going to be emailing maybe twice that week, and then the following week you're going to be emailing every day. So getting towards the end of the launch, there'll be like this last day, you will actually have emails every day until the last day. And even the last day, you might have 2 or 3 emails on the last day. So you send a lot of emails.
That's in this week.
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, the work is really done in the pre-launch. The work is really done. If you don't do your work in the pre-launch period, the 2 weeks or the 4 weeks or the 6 weeks or the 3 months before you actually have this launch week, the amount of work, or the impact of the work that you do there is going to now make it much, much easier for you to release or sell whatever it is that you're doing. Now, if it's a small thing that you're doing, you might not need to go back so far back or spend so much time warming up your audience, And but if you have something that's quite big or quite whatever, substantial, or it's going to take a lot of helping people to really get that awareness of the need for the thing and the social proof of the thing, then you need to kind of create, I would say, a good 4 to 6 weeks for all of us, for whatever it is that we're doing. A good 1 to 2 months, 4 to 6 weeks to say, this is the day this thing is coming out. That gives you also time to create your product, but then also if you put it in a calendar, you don't have that much pressure. You start talking about, first of all, yourself, who you are, what do you stand for, what are your values. That would be like maybe week 1 and week 2, or let's say 8 weeks before and 7 weeks before, or let's say 6 weeks before. And so working backwards, let's say 6 weeks before and 5 weeks before, you're talking about yourself, your values. This is who you are. These are your credentials. This is your experience. These are your stories, that kind of thing. You share those stories, those first couple of weeks. And then
actually, that your 6 weeks before, that starts next week.
Mm.
Your 6 weeks before, I mean, 6 weeks before actually starts,
in when September.
Yeah, Monday or Tuesday,
Okay.
So
there
I mean, Sunday and Monday are 30th and 31st of August.
Okay.
So, and exactly 6 weeks is pretty
Yeah.
much starting next week.
Yeah. So if I want to, let's say I want to do a launch where I want to open up the Yellow Pepper Club again to new members, and then close it until next year, which is the plan. Either close it till next year or close it till the end of the year. And then because we work well when we are all, I can pay attention to the people in the club and not be thinking about, how am I going to bring in people. So before then I'll be talking about my values, things like, it doesn't have to be perfect for you to get it done. Do it messy, like you said, perfectionism, those kind of things. So I can talk about all those things. Those are my values. I can talk about that in the first couple of weeks.
Okay, so what would you call that task? Is that still warming?
Yeah, so it's still kind of like the what's that thing again? The connection.
Connection,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so the first couple of weeks will be the connection. When you're trying to connect with people at the heart level. Again, you're also trying to bust some myths as well. So you're trying to take a stand, not bust myth, but actually trying to take a stand. So this is speaking of the why no one else. You're trying to say how you are different in the sense of, this is what most people think, but this is what it really is supposed to be, or these are the mistakes that a lot of people make, that kind of thing. So that's that connection thing, to say, this is where I stand, this is what I believe in, this is how I do my thing, this is how this is what works for me, this is what works for the people that work with me, blah blah blah. So that's your connection phase. Then the next phase would be what did they call it now? This I didn't form it. I didn't form the name, but what's the
there was something
next phase? The next phase
attraction.
is when you are trying to tell people about the almost like the mechanisms. So you're not talking about your thing, but you're talking about the mechanism and the benefits of the mechanism. So like for instance, you can talk about self-talk. Tolu is doing his journal when it comes out. Is going to be, I'm spilling the beans, but it's going to be about is a journal for affirmations, how to use affirmations to actually increase your confidence, increase your effectiveness in business and in life, and and actually get over traumatic events and that kind of thing. So start talking about you not start talking about, my journal is out, or come and buy my journal, or I'm writing a journal. You're not going to be talking about that. You're going to be talking about the power of self-talk and what it does to you, both on the positive and negative side. The stories that go on in your head and how they affect everything about you. And then, so you're talking about those different things. You're talking about we've kind of like listed all these things out, but you talk about the mechanism of what you're going to be selling, not so much not so much about you selling it, but actually the benefits and the effectiveness of that mechanism. Like Falakemi is not here at the moment, but Falakemi does this vision and clarity sessions, and then she's selling a course coming up soon called Lifecraft, which is about organizing yourself and all those kind of things. So she'll talk about the benefits of organizing and the benefits of having a plan and the benefits of all those different things. So the mechanism. So that's what you do in the attraction phase, I think it's called. Is it called the attraction phase?
Attraction, yes.
Yeah. So the basic thing is just that you're there out there and that you're speaking up and being yourself, and talking about your thing and talking about how people can benefit from what it is that you're doing, and if it's possible for you to teach along the way or help people as you go through these phases in this couple of weeks. The wonderful thing about doing a launch is that people should benefit from it, even if they don't buy your thing. People should benefit from what it is you're sharing. Whether it's a freebie or it's some information or it's some interviews that you're doing with people, people should benefit from it because it also gives you a lot of goodwill. But people should benefit from you launching, being part of your launch list. There's a course I joined this year, and I've been attending their launches for the past 3 years or 4 years. Every year when they have it, I'll be like, woohoo, I'll go and attend. But when it's time to buy, I wouldn't buy. But I bought eventually, like on the 3rd year or the 4th year, so that's just it. So you want to do that in the attraction phase. And then after that, the desire phase is really when you're inviting people to buy. So the desire phase is when you are doing your launch, when you're doing your actual launch. So that is your desire phase. And then after that, I think I hope I didn't mess that up anyway. So there's those 5 phases. People talk about them in different ways, but basically you want to first of all connect with your people, then you want to actually call them out. And then you also want to then say what it is you want to tease what is coming. You want to let people know something is coming and then get them interested and say, this is coming, this day is coming. And then you want to also create some urgency and scarcity to say, some urgency, some FOMO, all those different things to say, why don't you join my list? I'll let you know when it's out, or you'll be one of the first to know, or when during my launch week, when the book is out, I'm going to be giving out this free stuff or these free bonuses or that kind of thing. So yeah, so the general idea anyway is to put it all into your calendar and say, okay, every week I'm going to put out one blog post for those 4 weeks or those 6 weeks, one blog post each week. They're all going to talk about different aspects of my content, of what I'm talking about. Or I'm going to do one Facebook Live and it's going to talk about the same thing that's coming up. So, and then at the end of the Facebook Live or at the end of the blog post, I'll say something is coming, sign up, I'll let you know when it's out, that kind of thing. So putting all that in a calendar just would take some of the pressure off you as well. And then you help you to know what to create when, or like this sprint, we spent a lot of time writing the emails, which was kind of like really time consuming and, brain consuming. I don't even know what to call it, but just knowing that, okay, that's out of the way, that's done now, we've written our emails, and then when it's time, we then just slot in the emails when we need to do, or we've created our landing page, make sure that we've created it before this one goes out, and just helping us to see everything all together.
Right.
Yeah. So we did share within the group a sample of which is kind of like a bit more complete than this, of the launch calendar. So you can ask Tolu to give you a copy of that to look at, but then it's that one concentrated more on what happens on the launch week. So you can use that and then work backwards and decide what you want to do in the weeks before that, but basically it would be how you're going to show up to connect with people or, communicate with people, how you're going to show up to get them to sign up to your waiting list or your coming soon list. And then so that when you are ready to launch, then you can announce it by email as well as and then of course social media posts as well. What are you going to put? What kind of posts are you going to do to put out to build that know, like, and trust factor? That kind of thing. So yeah, that's how the whole thing works. That's how the whole thing works. So any other comments? I think
Comments.
Well, thank you, Tolu. That was really helpful.
Thank
really,
you.
really
You're
helpful.
welcome.
Yeah,
It was brilliant. Excellent. Yeah, I really learned a lot. It put things in perspective, as you said. You've got a lot of things that you want to do, but you have to prioritize, and some things you just can't do.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it ties in, I'm happy it ties in with our launch calendar as well, Emma. So it's all tied in well to start thinking actively about the tasks we need to do before we launch and when we do them. So thank you for that. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tolu.
You're
I hope
welcome.
everyone can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Falakemi.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Tolu. It was really beautiful. It's funny that what I'm talking about in my my class tomorrow is actually something on time management as well.
Great.
How they can manage time and how to accomplish their dreams, when they manage time. So
Nice.
I'm happy about this. I think for me, the thing that it reminded me, I use Google Calendars, and I think I learned quite a bit on this Excel sheet. So I'm going to still try to see. So what I would do is I will use the Excel sheet to actually do the planning, like all the mental planning and all that, and then I just my Google Calendar as usual to just because I do like it when I get those notifications. So I'm going to merge the things I've learned here. I think one thing that I really got reminded of was the matrix. I think that's what will actually change things around, because sometimes we just assume that all tasks are important, and that was what when I was doing my research, I came across that and I penned it down as well. So I'm very happy that you brought that up and made it come to life. So yes, thank you so much. It's been
You're
very
welcome.
impactful.
You're welcome. Thank you.
like the
Thank you.
buffering one. That buffering was
Oh
like,
yeah.
wow. Some of those things you just recognize. And I think what we do in the Yellow Pepper Club is actually kind of like it's pointed at some of those things, those things that you do to kind of like you waste your time in decision, oh, you want it to be perfect, or you want to arrange one more thing and fold one more thing and dot one more I and cross one more T before you actually do the thing. So that's one of the things that we're very conscious of when we're here. It's like, okay, let's get it done. Let's call it done, even when it doesn't feel done. Let's put it out there, even when we don't feel like we're ready. Even if it doesn't look as perfect as we want it to look. So this is so helpful. I love the beginning of the thing, and I'll certainly go back to listen to it. There were some really great nuggets in there.
One other thing about time also is that when you also try to examine how you think about time, do you think you have enough time, or do you think you have an abundance of time? Because sometimes when you have that thing, oh, I don't have time, it's from a place of scarcity and a place of anxiety. And that's when you will also continue to find yourself going around in circles and doing things that waste time. So you actually now don't have the time. But when you're able to keep, understand that, you do have time. Time has been given to you. And as we manage ourselves to use it, and you apply yourself to the things that are important, the things that support your goals for your family, goals for your finances, goals for your business. When you engage in those things and you're eliminating all the other things that cost you time, you're actually creating more time. You're creating more free time for yourself to plug in more, to do more of the things that you actually want to do, you know. And yeah, I just wanted to add that.
Thank you. I think I like the matrix as well. I think for me, that's one that I need to sort out for myself, the matrix. And also perfectionism. I think I'm number one on that list of wanting things to look a certain way and perfect before I, push it out. When in actual fact, really no point to it because it's stopping me from actually doing stuff because I'm trying to get it to be perfect when instead of just going ahead and doing it and then dealing with whatever later on. But
Or
yeah,
you
it's
know
really
something
very
else,
useful.
even when you've done it, you don't want to even show it. So you might have done it physically or technically it's done, but you don't push it out there, you know.
Yeah, I have like 4 blog posts now that I've actually written.
They're
But I'm
already,
just thinking,
but you know.
but I'm thinking, oh, it's not ready. I need to add more. I need to do more. Oh, it doesn't look like it's what it should be. It could be better. And now that could have been 4 blog posts published, but it's 4 blog posts that I've just held on to. I might as well not have written it
Might
really.
well still be
So you need to with that, you know, when you look at, you need to look at why you've actually not posted them. It's not because they're not perfect or they're not ready. There's a deeper thought to that which you need to uncover. You know, why have you actually not posted it? Why do you think it's not ready?
I think it's too short. I think it could be longer. But
Why
then
do
I'm
you
also thinking
mm-hmm.
why
if it's
does it?
longer, people are probably not going to read it because then it's too much.
Mm-hmm.
But then just this thing in my head where I think it needs to look like I've done some academic research and blah blah
So
blah.
are
And
you thinking people will think that you're not smart enough if you don't put in all the academic research?
well, I hope not, but
Are you thinking, you know, because it's actually more of an inner belief.
yeah, I agree.
It's more of an inner limiting belief that you have that keeps you in that place. You know, it could be a fear of I mean, there was someone I was talking to the other day, and she didn't want to post things because she's like, and there'll be, I don't want to expose myself to some certain people, you know. I was like, okay, who are these certain people? Well, people that's I don't really like. Said like, okay, what do you think you will lose if you post it and they see it? What will happen? You know, and it's like, well, uh, they'll be thinking, what is she up to? Say, okay, you're not posting. What do you think will happen concerning your business? You know, it's like, well, I won't be able to get the traction to sell and earn, and you know, and my reason for wanting to earn more money is because I want to do this, you know, certain goals that I have. So because of some certain 1, 2 people that you don't even actually have the proper evidence that they're looking at your page. It's up here in your head. You don't have that evidence. They haven't called you and said, I'm watching you, I'm monitoring you. You don't know, you know, but something, you know, it's all in your head. It's kind of like your imagination. And that is stopping you from wanting to, you know, keeping you the maybe £10,000 or whatever you can earn from this business that you know you want to, by putting what you have out there, you're going to lose it, not be able to achieve your goal because of a bad experience you've had for one or two people.
And the funny thing about this not wanting to post, especially for a brand new blog, nobody is going to read it anyway, you know, because it's you're just starting. So you just put it out there so that you get into the habit. Like even like what we're doing now, we're getting into the habit of launching. We've taken our minds off how much money. If we sell 1 million, that's fine. But what we're concentrating, we don't stress ourselves about the outcome. You know, what I'm saying is that the first few ones might not be as good as the next one, but you have to put out that first one and then see how people react to it and then put out the next one. Because certainly this is certainly not going to be our last product. We're putting one out now, and probably for the end of the year, we will put out something else, you know, but definitely you have to first take those first steps, you know.
For Akwebi wrote something here. Oh, okay, Tutu has read it already. That sometimes I also think it's how we judge others that we judge ourselves. It's possible Tutu likes short, intelligent pieces. Maybe not so much patience to read the long stuff, but now feels the need to do the long stuff because it's a pointer sometimes that work has been done.
It needs to get out of my head. That is exactly what it is. I don't have the patience to read the long pieces these days. So I just want something that's just really short, very straight. But now that I'm writing it, and it's not so easy.
Yeah, and you don't know that might just be what the kind of thing that somebody, because you're not for everybody at the end of the day. You're not for everybody, but your people will love it.
Yeah, exactly.
They will love it. They'll be like, oh, yeah, why is Apple always writing all these long things? This woman has gone straight to the point and she's saying something that makes sense. I bet put up your first post today.
In fact, my sister, what she says is that, you know, she tells herself that whatever I put out there, whatever I put out there, whether it has typographical errors or not, will bring me my clients. That's her belief, you know. I mean, she's really smart. She does really good, you know, posts. But she says that when she gets that fear of, then, you know, let me just, you know, I won't put it out there yet, or it's not good enough. She tells herself, no, I'm putting it out because whatever I do, you know, whatever I do will bring results. Whatever I do will bring results. Anything I put out there will bring results.
Say, you know, or give God something to work with, or just, you know, I mean, if you say, oh, I'm doing this work and that kind of thing, and you don't have a way for people to pay you, what does that mean? You don't have a bank account, you don't have you have to open something up for people to come into your world.
Yes, that's true. Absolutely.
So it doesn't have to be perfect, but at least you made something so that people will say, oh, who is this person? And then they want to know more, and oh, let's have a discussion and that kind of thing. So until you do that and put that out there, you don't make a way for people to come into your world. You know, it can, like two sisters said, it can be anything, honestly, you know.
It's like my last post was quite long, but I've been wanting to post that. I think we've talked about it. I'd kept it, it's about the burnt out and sleep. And I'd kept it for about 2 weeks and not, you know, and just did it. And I don't think, I mean, I realize now not many people read, but then people read. Because
that's true.
But as you said, it's that having the confidence to just put it out. The more you put it, if someone even shared it, oh, thank you. You're always gonna get someone that will connect with it because it's you.
Yeah. You know, there's also that
my pen was not short enough, and you're saying yours is not long enough. Oh, so which is it?
Mine I had to erase. Mine was so I had to shorten it. I had to shorten mine.
Oh, it's too short. You know, which one is it now? You know.
Yeah.
I think also if we have that mindset of you know, that Bible story where Jesus said, I don't know if it was Jesus that said it, you know, if there's one lost sheep, you know, he'll leave the other 99 and go, and he'll go searching for that one lost sheep. If there's one coin that drops or something like that, they will search for that one coin. So I think if you have the mindset of, if this your post reaches just even one person and helps one person, it's all worth it. Because just like you said, some people won't read it, some people will actually read it. For as many, you know, that won't read, there are those that read. You know, when we say, oh, there are no good guys out there, the thing is that there are good guys out there, you know. So having that mindset that, and then sometimes some people that don't read will one day, some might see this particular post, those that don't read and actually read, that I know, generally long posts, I'm like, oh, but sometimes I find myself reading every line and through some. I don't know why, but because sometimes I think sometimes you're just prompted or moved, because this post is going to, God knows it's going to give you something that you need that particular day, So just like Amos said, let's give God something to work with, and he will work to bring the people that you need, that your assignment and your mission need to get to, But we just need to keep putting the information out there, putting the life out there for people to attach to find.
Whoa, wow.
All righty.
Mine was really cool. Almost 2.5 hours.
I know. Well,
Thank you so much. Tutu, please, when you have posted your, please share the link with us in the Telegram group.
Okay.
If not, I'm talking to Tutu.
all 4
Who?
posts to
Tutu,
you've
when
got
you
4.
say blog posts, or you can schedule the other one, but share one today and
Yes, please.
share the link.
Just put it out there. It's okay. It's Tutu, you're smart, you're intelligent, you're a good writer, you're a good talker. Whatever you have
Put it
done
out there.
is fine.
Yep.
It's like Folakemi said, sometimes we just judge ourselves and we bring ourselves down in our heads, but none of that is true. All the thing that God, like Amos said at the beginning at our orientation, you're the promise that you're the promise that God sent when you were born. He has put in so much inside you, and has honed it and everything, so just shine bright, baby.
Yep.
And on that note, I think we should drop the mic and be on our way.
Okay.
Thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to go off Facebook now.
Thank you.